When you feel like when things get slow though, how do you keep up the motivation? How do you stay positive? Because that's really something I think we've all been struggling with over the last year.
Yeah. So I try to meditate. I'm into meditation a lot, and I attend webinars. I listen to other realtors, what's happening in the world, what's happening in the industry in Canada, in Toronto, and I try to read motivational books, a lot of things. I try to go with the flow, and at the same time I try to focus on positive side of the things. Like, for example, this past year, it has been a very weird year. I was in a webinar, they were saying even if it's like different from 2007, the prices were low, you can attest to that. Now we don't have the prices low, and buyers are not there, sellers are not giving away the property. So it's a very weird market. So that's what it is. I try to do as much as possible. And also, Kathy, I try to stay connected with my past clients.
Yes, this is an opportunity to do that. Like, here we are in holiday season. If you guys have not sent a holiday card out to your clients, do it now. It doesn't matter. It can be the simplest thing. It just send them a $10 gift card for Starbucks. Go buy 20 of them. Seriously, put them in an envelope. We can't mail things right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Email them a beautiful paperless post. Holiday card. Tell them you're thinking about them and that you're going to connect in the new year. I'd love to get together for a coffee. Say that to every single person like you're saying it to them for the first time.
Yeah, and another example, Kathy, in regards to the low times, we had COVID. So that was a big example. And fear, in my opinion, like we have heard it a lot. Like, it stands for face everything and run, or face everything and rise. Okay. So in that case, I have a good example to mention here. So right after COVID, when everybody was very fearful and the market was down, what I did, I booked a ticket and I went to New York to attend Ryan Serhan. He's one of the biggest real estate brokers.
Yes, I remember you posting it on social media.
In the whole world. So what I did, I went to that event, and it was a penthouse, the tallest building in the whole world. So the listing price, he was the listing agent. The listing price, $250 million. And then we were there with 50 other agents from all around the world. I remember another agent was there from Dubai, for example. One person from Canada, or another person from Canada, two people from Canada, and the rest from the United States. And that experience like blew up my mind. And I said, wow, how much opportunities we can have in this business. And the sky is the limit. And look at how they run the business, look at the marketing, look at the social media, look at the teamwork here. It was in another level. So it actually changed my mindset in that time. And when I came back right away, Kathy, I had 2 deals. 2 deals right away. And it was still the slowest market we could have in that year. So that was an example what you could do. Like, you can do a lot of positive things to motivate yourself.
And I think that when you do that, people get an energy from you, don't they?
They do.
Yes, when you feel good, they sense something and they want to work with you.
Absolutely.
So you always have to do things to enrich yourself. I mean, there's so many opportunities like that, you guys. Like, you know, if you're interested, like there's the NAR conference that I was just thinking as you said that we should every year we should send one person from our office. It's so important. From now on, we're going to be doing that because it takes place in New York, and it's like where all the top people in the industry gather to learn about technology, really, and what's changing in the industry. And things like that, I want to be, like, as a brokerage, more in tune with. I've attended a lot of these things myself, but I think it might be time, like, to send an emissary or someone from our office, because they can come back and teach us all what they've learned. And there's so many changes. I mean, technology is like changing exponentially, and social media is only the tip of the iceberg, and using these things to your advantage is so important. I would just quickly an aside, I had somebody come when, nobody knows this, but I'm telling you all now. When I was away in Japan, my house was broken into. Seriously, someone climbed up, I have a second floor balcony, and they took a ladder out of my shed, which they had to know there was a ladder in the shed, because how would anyone even know that? We have like a little shed in the back. It doesn't hold much, but it does hold a ladder. And they put it on my barbecue, climbed up to the balcony off my bedroom, opened the door, like jimmied the door, came in, and within 30 seconds, emptied half my closet. And of course, I'm like every typical person and keep everything in the master bedroom in the closet. Okay? Now I had a security guy come to my house and tell me, the cardinal rule is don't keep anything in your bedroom. The first place people go to look is your bedroom. Keep it in any other room in the house, because if they come in and they don't find it, they'll leave. Because they're afraid that maybe they've triggered an alarm or that you're gonna come home. But if you leave it in your bedroom, they just find it easily. Anyway, long story short, now I've had the security company come in, and the guy's walking around, and I don't know if you guys have seen it. He's wearing this little thing around his neck. It's like this big, looks like the old fit watches that you used to wear to keep, I don't know what they were called, but to keep, see how many calories you were burning before there was an Apple Watch. Anyway, after at our meeting, he goes, well, I said, you haven't taken any notes. He goes, well, that's because everything's here. And it's this thing called PAUD, and you might have seen it on Instagram. And what it does is it listens to your entire conversation, it records your conversation, and then you turn on your phone and it loads the entire conversation and who said what onto your phone, and then it analyzes it. And he played it for us. It was unbelievable. First of all, the conversation sounds like you and I sitting here. It's so crystal clear. You hear him walking up to my front door. You hear the crackling of his boots, him knock on the door. But it's not irritating. It's like all perfectly balanced, as if you were with him. And then he loads it onto his phone, and it said, Kathy said this, and Bruce said that, and Mitch said this. He's the guy. And then it says an analysis. Well, at the end, Kathy is very worried about, someone breaking into the house again. She thinks there's not adequate lighting in the backyard. Bruce is concerned that they may need more cameras. It analyzes the whole thing. Anyway, it's something, I'm telling you about it now, I used to tell you about ChatGPT and no one knew what that was. I'm telling you about this. In 6 months, everyone's gonna have one. It's gonna be something you can put on your phone and walk around with. It's gonna be something you can wear as a watch. You can wear it as a watch right now, or wear on your neck. And it's unbelievable, and it's gonna change everything, because when you go and you meet with a client, and they give you a tour of a house and say, we're really proud because we put in a skylight in 2022 and it really brightened up the, the master ensuite, and you're going to hear that in your notes. So you're going to know when you go back to write up the listing, or when you write them an email, you're not going to forget anything, because it's all going to be there.
Yeah.
There's never going to be a chance where someone says, well, you said you would do it for 1.5% commission. And I remember you saying that, because you just have to go back and say, I didn't say that.
Great to know.
But anyway, so what's my point? My point is that things are changing so quickly, and it changes how we do business and makes us more and more efficient, which gives us time to do, the things that sort of, keep us balanced and keep us anchored, like the meditation, or the if it's working out or playing pickleball, or all the things that people do now. So important. So anyway, just a little aside. We talked a little bit about the tools you use. If you had to give advice to our realtors, and I know you'd probably shy to do it, because but I think that people, we all learn from each other, and probably any one of you today could speak and we could learn from you. So Nikki, what she's offered is unbelievable and incredible, but everyone has their own story and their own experience, which has value. But if you could, something unique that you've experienced, that sort of, when you're feeling down, when you're feeling discouraged, and even when you're feeling positive, that you go back to in your mind, that keeps you.
Yeah, it happens. It's normal. And as I mentioned, you're gonna have great days, you're gonna have bad days. It's a part of the process. It's a part of the journey. Just enjoy the journey. You have a lot of times that your deals fall through. You're gonna hear a lot of no's on the phone. People are not interested, and it's okay. Go to the next and do more contacts. Like in these times, Kathy, when we see less positive people, we hear less yeses. We need to talk with more people. That's a numbers game. That's very simple. So if you, Kathy, I remember at the beginning when I was a realtor, I was doing 20 calls per day, and then one of my mentors asked me, how many calls are you making? And I was very proud. I said, 20 calls, and he laughed. And then I said, why were you laughing? He said, every day, minimum 100 calls to people.
Do you still do that?
I do.
Where do you find 100 people?
A lot of past clients, a lot of people that I visit in the events, Kathy. I have the business cards. I talk with them. It's not necessarily
just give them a call and say, hey.
Yeah, just say, how's everything? We met. It doesn't necessarily need to be about buying and selling right away.
Right.
Just
so if you've met a mortgage broker, if you've met
just casually, the more you do that, you never know what doors will gonna open to you. That's very simple. And you need to be on top of your numbers. You know, Kathy, you're running a big business. What doesn't get measured doesn't get managed. So you need to be on top of your numbers. You need to know how many calls are you making, and please do that. Yes. That's what I can tell.
Yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly. In fact, I was even talking to another manager the other day, and they were saying they didn't understand something because we get a monthly financial statement from our corporate accountant, and they didn't understand something. And I said, well, your job is to understand it. If you don't understand, then ask accounting. And like, that's your job too, you guys. If you don't understand, I'm happy when you ask us, what does this mean on our deal checklist, or what does this mean on my trade? Because it means you're paying attention, and you're paying attention to your business. And you need to. You need to understand the numbers, and you need to understand what you need to do, how much business you need to do to meet if it's your goals, 50,000 a year, 100,000, whatever it is you're hoping to make in 2025. It's not just going to happen. You have to. I believe in the secret, and like if you visualize it, it will happen.
That's right.
So definitely, you have to visualize, what do you want your 2025 to look like? Think about it, plan it, and then set out what I need to do this, and start to do it. And this, if we had more people in the office, we were going to share. We have this amazing business plan with 100 things that you can do when you have nothing to do, and part of it is scheduling your day.
100%.
I schedule every single day. There is no day that I go, I don't know what I'm going to do today.
Yeah, absolutely. Because especially at the beginning, Kathy, speaking to new agents, you're flexible. You're going to think, I don't know what to do. There is nobody. Just call the sphere of influence that you have. Call everybody. Talk about, introduce yourself. Say that you're in the business. Talk with them. And again, try to build relationship, because once we are always thinking about buying and selling right away, then we have the fear of rejection, and then we don't pick up the phone.
Right.
But if you just put it aside, just be friends with people. That's it. Let everything goes normally and go with the flow.
Yeah.
And then start from there, start to have conversations, and then later on you're going to see the results.
Yes. Oh, you know what's interesting also? It's like people love talking about real estate, and they always want to ask you how the market is, and we're thinking of selling, we're thinking of buying, is now a good time, should we wait, what do you think is going to happen this spring? And recently a developer called me, and he knew more about real estate than I would ever know. He's a top Toronto developer. He knows everything, but he still asked me, how are you finding the market? And what do you see? And what do you think about, when are the buyers going to come back to the table? And I said, well, all the forecasters are saying we need 2 more drops in interest rates to see them back. And he goes, that's what I think. So I'm thinking March. Is that what you think? And I said, yeah, I'm thinking March too. And I'm hoping that because I said it's March, it will be March and not September. But
yes, cross the fingers.
Yes, but everybody wants to talk about it. Everybody. And they want your take, and your take has value. When you say, I was in an office meeting and we were talking about this, and this is what I got out of it, or we met this week, or I met with my manager and she was just saying, whatever it is, that gives you more, validity.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And also, this is another thing, because a lot of mentors, like they're very transactional. That's what I don't like that much. That's my style. So I'm really thinking how I can be of service to these people, and as if this person who's selling or buying is my family. So if I see something doesn't make sense or it's not profitable for them, even if it's a transaction for me, my choice is being authentic and being honest.
Yes.
Because I know the universe will give back to me 10 times more. So
Yes.
this is what I believe in. Maybe
I agree.
I'm wrong. Maybe some other people have other ways of doing that. But don't get trapped in that. Like, be honest with people, because if they don't understand right now, they're gonna understand later, and you're gonna have a client for life.
Yeah. That's what reminds me of what Wilma Friedman said 2 weeks ago when she said the market isn't always fair, but it never lies.
Yeah.
Just use that one.
Very good.
It
Very
takes
good
it out of
sentence.
your hands. You're
I
not
love
in
that.
control of whether or not someone's coming to see your listing. Okay, you did everything right, and you put up the for sale sign, and you did a beautiful feature sheet, and you put it all over social media, and now no one's coming, and you think you even priced it right. Okay, this is the market responding. It's nothing you did. You also have to know when to not take the blame and not feel responsible, because if you feel responsible, people are going to think you are responsible, and you can only do so much at the end of the day.
We're not in full control. No. Especially in this market.
And okay, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Are there some questions, Taylor?
Yeah, there's a few.
Okay.
Someone's just entering the room. Okay, the first one. How possible would it be for the brokerage to invest in telelisting to assist with making calls, i.e. calling around just listed / just sold?
Yeah, you know what? First of all, that telelisting thing is like super expensive, and we did it. So we did it right when we opened the office. Like, it wasn't telelisting then. It was actually a book that listed who it said it was the do not call list. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, but I have heard about it.
Okay, so there's something called the do not call list, where people said, do not call me if, under any circumstances for any solicitation, for charities, for anything, including real estate. So when you got your hands on the do not call list, you knew who not to call, because it used to be that if you called people, they could, I don't even know if that's true anymore, because now I think people just hang up the phone, but that they could charge you, because it was actually illegal to call somebody who's on the do not call list. So we got this huge book, and we got in the office, and everybody said they were going to sit down and do cold calling. Nothing. No one used it. I kept reminding everyone it was here. When I say it's expensive, I mean, I think it was like $3,000. It was so super expensive. It was insane. Okay? And then, of course, it went online, and it wasn't actually a book anymore. And still, people weren't using it. I need to know that someone is going to use it. And what I would be open to doing, and I think it might be worthwhile, if people are going to actually use this, is by getting a few branches together. And which I'm willing to do. We were going to do it before we thought about doing it, getting 3 or 4 or 5 branches, because we can all share it. It doesn't matter if you share it with an office of 100 people or 500 people. Why not? It's not proprietary. It's just who not to call, and we're all farming different areas anyway. So that's what I would do. But if you are looking for something, it's not impossible to find someone's contact information anymore. I mean, it is. If you see a place in your farmed area or the area where you like to sell real estate, and it's expired, and the listing's expired, I mean, you can be creative and find the contact information for the seller. All the seller's names are online. You can find it all on Impact. You can find out who everybody is, so that's not a secret anymore. And you can look them up on LinkedIn, and you can send them a message, and you can say, I'm a realtor. I noticed that your place was for sale 3 months ago. I may have a buyer for it. Can I come by? You can email them at their business. I know people who've been very creative. I know one agent, and I'm not saying to do this, But I know one agent who knew that the people whose listing expired were going through a divorce. Do you ever hear this? Found out who one of the parties' divorce lawyers were, called the divorce lawyer to get the phone number for the party. Anyway, he didn't give it to her, but like that was, don't do that. Like, you know, there's a distinct line between being like resourceful and being like crossing the line into, you know, somebody's private life. But what you can do is you can try and find their number and name, or somebody who knows them in the neighborhood, and you know, sitting there and calling 100 people that you don't know a day, I'm not sure how much of a response you're going to get. You know, but if you have a specific person that you're trying to reach because you may have a buyer, or because you like that property, or you think you'd be a good fit for selling it, or you saw it during the course of the listing and you'd like, you know, and it would be like people love talking about real estate, and they always want to ask you how the market is, and we're thinking of selling, we're thinking of buying, is now a good time, should we wait, what do you think is going to happen in the spring? Everybody wants to talk about it. Everybody. And they want your take, and your take has value. That gives you more, you know, validity.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And also, this is another thing, because a lot of mentors, like they're very transactional. That's what I don't like that much. That's my style. So I'm really thinking how I can be of service to these people, and as if this person who's selling or buying is my family. So if I see something doesn't make sense, or it's not profitable for them, even if it's a transaction for me, my choice is being authentic and being honest.
Yes.
Because I know the universe will give back to me 10 times more. So
Yes.
this is what I believe in. Maybe I'm
agree.
wrong. Maybe some other people have other ways of doing that. But don't get trapped in that. Like, be honest with people, because if they don't understand right now, they're gonna understand later, and you're gonna have a client for life.
Yeah.